Welcome to A Word of Hope. I'm Brother Edward, coming to you from Madison, Wisconsin, on July 27th in the 16th week of Ordinary Time. In today's Gospel, we see Jesus withdrawing from the crowd where he's been preaching about the kingdom of heaven, and he is withdrawn with only his disciples. And the disciples take this as an opportunity to ask additional questions. And they ask Jesus, why do you talk to the crowd in parables and not directly and clearly? And he reflects with them from the prophet Isaiah. And he says, the prophet Isaiah spoke about people who have ears that will not listen, have eyes but can't see, and so forth. And so he's applying that to the crowd, like they don't really get it. They're not open-hearted to receive the wisdom of the kingdom of heaven. So he takes another approach with them. Personally, in my experience, when you encounter somebody like that, they're so thick in a way, they don't want to hear the facts, if you will. They just don't want to see what others see. You kind of feel like you just want to say, well, okay, go your own way. I'm fine where I'm at. You go your own way. But Jesus does something rather clever. Instead of dismissing the crowd, he tells them parables. And parables are stories that have a way of creating other stories, or if you will, they raise questions. So, for example, in the story of the prodigal son, we all, I think, are familiar with that, where the son takes his inheritance and squanders it, goes away, and then comes back and asks for forgiveness. And his father grants him forgiveness and throws a great celebration for him, invites the whole village to come. And yet the oldest son, who has always been very faithful to the father, comes to the door and resents it. But the story ends there, and we don't really know if the oldest son ever forgave his brother or came into the party. So it makes us wonder. Or the Good Samaritan is another example. Did the person who fell among the robbers ever thank the Samaritan for all he did for them? So Jesus is planting stories within this resistant group to gradually, if you will, make a little crack into their stone heart to open them up to the great message of the kingdom of heaven. And we too sometimes need to kind of think with the parables, stretch us, if you will, make us think of dimensions that are not exactly in the story and see how that applies to our lives. So today we get more information from Jesus because of the question of his disciples asking this question about the parables. But we also see, if you will, this passionate technique of Jesus to win souls over for the kingdom of heaven.